What is up, guys? Welcome to Crypto, your home for Crypto TA. I am your host, Martin. Today we're looking at whatever we've been looking at in the past. Crypto new targets. Why not? If you're catching us from live, welcome. If you're catching a replay, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Andrew, what is up, my friend? Thank you very much for joining me tonight. What are we doing, guys? What are we looking at today, man? Market cap. What is crypto doing, man? Not a lot, right? We proposed last Friday that market cap could be on this downwards sloping channel, right? Which seems to fit a little bit. I mean, we still have a bit of a gap on this here portion. If I were to zoom in a lot, you might be able to catch that, but let's see if we can do that. Assuming, right? So we have quite a gap, not quite hitting at the bottom. Again, it will be more like a falling wedge where it dried out to infinity. You'll be able to see it, but given where it's at, we could just say it's a downwards or falling channel, right? That crypto's trading in. And where was this the case? Now is the midline being respected? We're not getting a lot of respect for the midline right here, not holding it as support. Here, not really facing it as a resistance. We kind of are and kind of aren't, right? So the move here, not a lot of respect for that, right? Here, also not a lot of respect for that, right? But here's where we're starting to like hit those areas a bit more, and it seems like that is what the market is following now, right? So on the movement up, we hit the midline with the wick, right? Midline with the wick. Got above it, you used it with support here with that wick. Broke below it, and then we faced it as a resistance, right? And now we're facing it as resistance again. And now we're not hitting it, but we're still below that line. So we're starting to get compressed in between the midline and this area here. That is a $2.25 trillion market cap line, right? That we were seeing a support. If we keep holding on to it on a downwards triangle, eventually we should be looking for a break to the upside, right? Because that pressure and a down sloping triangle tends to build up. So we're holding that support, right? Not that. We're holding the support here consistently, right? At least for this portion. If we're to look at this here as this minuscule part on the smaller time scales, we'll be holding that as support, right? On this portion here, right? And what we tend to do is we tend to like break this to the upside because we're just holding on to that bottom portion with a lot of strength. Now, it's not the prettiest looking triangle, right? But that's what it's starting to look like. It's just the fact that we've just been getting compressed here into this structure and just holding that support. Now, if we do break it down, we're going to have this line here as support before we get to the 2.05 trillion market cap line. But we're really not developing anything else as far as bullishness or bearishness on the daily. As you can tell, we're very neutral. We're at 44.19 on the RSI. Not really doing a lot here as well, right? Just kind of chilling. Yeah, last couple days. Yeah, we dropped and we're just like moving sideways a little bit. We're getting some kind of rest before the next move. And Bitcoin seems to be about, getting some movements, but also not going super crazy. Let's go check out Bitcoin at 63,629, right? See, Bitcoin moves are really there, but nothing with a lot of strength, right? Nothing going crazy, nothing going wild. So it just seems as though Bitcoin's just chilling for a bit. Cool. So with that into consideration, Bitcoin below the 64,900, still above and holding. Look at that beautiful support here a couple days ago, 62,423. So again, in a small range, we'll ultimately want to break above 66,994 for a movement up, and then 69,000, right? But on a movement down, we know if we break this here zone, there's no reason why we couldn't be coming down here for support, right? This zone at 54,230. Talked about that. Every time we moved here, there's really not a lot of areas on this zone where we could come down and look for support on a movement down, right? So there's really nothing there. It's just a quick rally and usually a quick drop. So we're not expecting to see anything different this time. Where are we to see that? So it could be a quick drop here, find support. The market's going to go like, oh no, extreme fear. And then maybe the bulls are going to kick back in and push back up if that is the case. But for now, it's still just a waiting game. We haven't quite gotten the measured move down from breaking this larger structure. And right now it seems like we're trying to consolidate this level before we actually either drop down or go back up. But again, Bitcoin already tried to do that channel. It doesn't work, right? It is a fallen wedge. If we're to draw this line and have it come longer, we're going to just, see that fallen wedge formation, which we know fallen wedges tend to break to the upside. So with that into account, there's really nothing else happening on the daily, unfortunately. And it's kind of like a waiting game. because we're making higher lows than the previous lows, and we're also making less negative momentum and higher on the RSI. So really, really not a lot to go on. For our chart, at the bullishness, popped with it, right? Think that quick pop, hit resistance, starting to come back down to support. Good. Now what happened afterwards? Well, now we start to track this from one island to the next, the way we usually want to trace divergences, right? Well, we know that that is going to follow there, right? Because we're still coming down lower, and that's just going to follow there, right? So with that, we have strong bullish divergence still, and with that potential for that action to the upside, right? Now, seeing this right here also tells us that there's that bullish divergence. So that goes here and here. And we're getting it from this portion here to this portion here, right? So bullish divergence strong against the MACD, bullish divergence strong against the RSI. With that, the potential for action to the upside, right? So we are getting that option upwards motion, right? Very nice movement here. And we're not quite hitting the 64,900. We must hit that zone and get above it to the 60,000. Sorry, 66,244. Ultimately, 66,994 is where we want to be above. Daniel Integrity Painting, what's up, my friend? All right, so with that into account, do we have stuff that is bearish? We are, I think, developing some bearish divergence hidden, and that is going to be on this move here, right? Look at, boom, right? Is one island to the next. Again, we do have that break for us to consider, and I think this is what's putting that pressure right now, and what we're failing ultimately to go higher. We don't want to see this come into play with a lot of strength because it's hidden bearish, and in a bull market, bearish indicators fail to play out. Having bearish indicators come into play and play with strength, if any strength at all, lets us know that the bears are in control and the bulls are no longer in control. And that is going to basically be telling us that the market could be turning bearish, at least for the short term. Okay. 1 hour chart. If you guys remember, I posted this, talked about Friday. If you weren't here on Friday, talked about this thing from Peter Brand, this article he posted on his website regarding Bitcoin and the diminishing returns that we're seeing for Bitcoin, right? Which was this article. I'm gonna bring it in here for you guys to see. Talks about exponential decay and how every time we go higher, right, we start to go lower and we're not making the same highs. So again, December 2019 to that, we had like 3,191x advance. Then on the 2011, 2013, it was 572x advance. That's 15 to 17, it was 122x advance. Then 18 to 21 is 22x advance. And now they're not really staying because we don't know yet if it's top, but so far the high has been 73,835 as of March 2024. But what we know is that on 2011, 2013, it was 20%, right, of the 2009 to 2011 cycle. On 2015, 17, it was 20% of the 11 13 cycle. And then it was on 2018 to 2021, it was 20% of the 15 17 cycle, right? We go by that more or less and see where we're at. We get that, you know, it's a 4.5 estimate, right, from the previous one, and against like 20% at 69,000, 69,628. That would be the estimate peak price estimated. We hit above there, right? But if we also take into account that taking a low for the current cycle of 15,000, the project's as high, or the projection is as high as 70,723, which we already know we hit higher, right? So basically, if we go by what he's stating here, it would mean that Bitcoin is topping, right? It means that we have, in fact, hit the top for the cycle. Now, the thing I see, if Bitcoin has stopped, we would expect a decline back to the mid-30s or the low or 2021 lows. Now, I mentioned that when compared this to what's really going on with the market, right? My take is that we haven't topped, and the reason that we haven't topped is because market cap is not as high as it was back on 2021, right? So we're lower market cap. We're not hitting the $3 trillion yet. So meaning that if more money was to come in, there's no reason why Bitcoin shouldn't see further increase on price, right? So with that into account, I don't think we've topped. I'll explain that on Friday's stream and why that was important. Right? Because a lot of people usually just go by what they see and not really do their own analysis, and they just basically follow whatever someone else says. So I'm just posing a case to why that may not be the case, right? And why I believe it might not be the case. It could be that it's the case, and it could be that I'm wrong. But I think that, you know, market cap's not reached its top because it hasn't gone to where it was in the past, right? We're just looking at Bitcoin as a sole asset class and not really looking at, you know, the cryptosphere or the industry as a whole. So bullish divergence strong on this little portion for the 1 hour. We're getting that nice rally. And then on this move here up, right? Look, we're coming up higher, more positive momentum, higher on the other side. Nothing here that it screams bearish. The only bearishness we would have would be from way back here like that. It's going to be hidden bearish. And look at that, right? It would be like that. The reason I'm not calling this one as hidden bearish, right, is because this is way too many periods. If we consider that we're using an average of 14, right? Periods for the RSI, that would put us like somewhere around here for us to be able to look back, right? So like 14 periods back. So boom, like for it to be somewhat reliable, but this is way too far back, right? Something like this is still doable. This is definitely doable, but this, it's way too far back. Now, with that into account, I'm gonna get rid of that right indicator there for that bearishness and this one here. And I just think we have the bullishness right now. We're getting a sort of break after a nice impulse up. And that is because in the 4 hour, we have that bearish divergence that's coming into play, right? It'll be similar to what I'm drawing here from this period here to here, right? But we are getting it on the 4 hour where it makes sense for it to be, right? So this portion, right? Makes total sense for that to be there, not only against the MACD, but also here against the RSI, right? Boom, there it is. So Bitcoin, talked about it, done. Not really much we could do with it, right? That's about it. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum, 3,183 buckaroos. How's you guys' weekend? Y'all have a good time? Let me know. Hope you had a great time on the weekend. So, for Ethereum, right? For Ethereum, we had the triangle. We broke down. We're still waiting for that measure move. I kind of want to get rid of this triangle thing. And the reason I want to get rid of the triangle thing is because it's starting to drive me nuts that it's there. Because it looks horrible to begin with. I'm just going to drop the opacity. I'm just going to drop it for that one line. I thought I was going to be able to drop it for all of the lines. Yay, it's not going to let me. I'll show them individually. Pretty crappy, but still okay. Why was it crappy, dude? Well, I hope it turns better. Right, so I'm going to propose for Ethereum. It's going to be this larger move here. And again, I'm just going to follow through with this. But you can tell I'm drawing that fallen wedge, right? Just like what Bitcoin had. So with that into account, Ethereum's also on that fallen wedge, right? That should tend to break the upside, hopefully, and potentially. That's what we're looking for. Last we have is bullish. Now, short-term move, we are starting to develop some hidden divergence. And that's kind of sucks because, to be honest, like this could certainly get where Ethereum starts to struggle for a move to happen, right? Look, this is going from a high point to a higher point here. Not the prettiest looking, but if we zoom in, we definitely are able to see that move, right? So, with that into account, bearish divergence hidden, potential fraction to the downside, starting to get it, but still at support at the $3,158 mark, right? Neutral at 46.81. Not else going on here. It's just the first crypto we looked at has bearishness in the daily. Hidden bearish again at the end of the world. We broke the upsloping support that we had, right? And then we're going for another pop. On that second pop, look at that. Nice moving up. A target 3,324. But we are not creating bearish divergence, right? Look at that. Going up higher. Higher, right? Why is it that we're breaking down? Well, short and sweet is because Bitcoin's really not doing a lot. And here, shorter term, there is bearish divergence on that last itty bitty move, right? And that one we can track by looking at this. Bearish divergence moving down. Now, do we have anything else? Low, negative momentum, less negative momentum, right? Low to high, low to high, neutral at 47.6. So again, not really a lot happening. This short bearish divergence here. Really rather see this happening on the 1 hour. It's gonna make a lot more sense than this making it crash on the 4 hour. At least making it drop back down to the support. And again, beautiful support being held there, spot on hit at 3,158. So Ethereum is holding. Ultimately, want to get it above 3,324. For that, Bitcoin needs to like pop, dude. Otherwise, there's no way This is going to go higher. There's no way. Right. And on the move here, what I was telling you guys, right, where we want to see that is there. And look at that. Boom. Right. Bam. We'd actually drag it all the way down here, right, for ease of drawing and have the charts look somewhat cleaner. I'm just going to place it here. And you're going to see that here as well, right? Look at that. Bearish divergence strong against the RSI, and then against the MACD, it's going to be like this, right? And that's what I was saying. I can go way back here for that MACD. So, trying to rally, lower than the previous high. So, nothing bearish at this point. Here, strong bearish divergence. That's what we're dropping. And if we're to let this happen on the 4-hour chart, it's that small line that I drew, right? So I'd say it's going to make more sense in the 1 hour. Here, it's making more sense in the 1 hour. Now, for this move here, we did create some strong bullish divergence, right? And that's going to be within the same island. Again, we usually want to draw divergences from one island to the next. Is usually the best way to draw them. But we don't have a new island of negative momentum developing yet. But for now, this is what we have. And we have that bullish divergence. And we are getting that impulse up. Again, rather see it from one island to the next. What do I mean by one island to the next? Well, I will explain what an island is. This is an island, right? Then it gets broken by this positive momentum island. Then we have another new negative momentum island. And now we have a new positive momentum island. So in fairness, we want to see this dragging all somewhere around there, right? But for now, that works, and it's here. What happened to my old account? This is my old account. This is my old account. I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro, but this is my old account. Here's my only account. Well, there's another account that is a like B account, or the like plan B account, but that we don't do anything with that one. But this is the main account. So that's it for Ethereum, right? Again, talk movements up, movements down. Again, market just kind of chill right now. I'm not seeing a lot, but that's when we expect moves to happen. Let's check out ADA real quick. Then we're gonna do Sol. Solana, man. All right, waiting for this to load in ADA, and then we do Solana, and then we'll see what up. We'll see what up, man. Yeah. We gotta wait. We gotta wait. It's gonna make us wait. See, Ethereum loaded fast. This one's like, yeah, gotta wait, man. Gotta wait. Oh, bro, trying to get hot. Like heat wise, like temperature wise. Yeah. Anyways, bullish divergence, got the last pop. Again, come back down, but just chilling sideways, right? Not really dropping to that 40-cent mark again. And we do want to see this pop happening. Again, we had the bullish divergence. We're just not seeing it come with strength, right? We had against the MACD first, and then lastly against the RSI. But that move is just really not popping. We're trying to pop, and there's really nothing bearish coming in here. Like, kind of hurt us. Like, all this stuff is from, like, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, whatever the hell this should be at. There's no reason why this should be here now. Right? So, let's get rid of that stuff. Let's go to the 4-hour chart and see what this is doing. Right? WMT, sure, man, we can check it out. Why not? Bearish divergence, action to downside, dropping down, right? Boom. Really, that's about it. Now, afterwards, well, for the weekend, we developed this bullish divergence here, right? Ultimately, it's going to come all the way down here, but I'm just going to go by steps, right? So we got that there, right? Bullish divergence strong, got the pop. Now we're dropping lower here than the previous low, so in all fairness, it's just going to drag all the way down there, right? But now we're going over data, and that looks crappy. But that is the new low, right? That is the new low. So I'm just going to go there. And this is going to come here like that. The bullish divergence strong against the MACD, against the RSI, right? And we could just track that one from here for ease of argument and not have the data be like all crappy and stuff. Bullish divergence strong. Potential fraction day offset, but we're not seeing it play with strength. See, we're trying to rally, but the attempted rally is kind of dulled out. Because Bitcoin's being like, I don't know what I want to do, right? That's just Bitcoin right now. So with that into account, again, Ethereum has, Cardano ADA has a bullish divergence. It's just not coming into play. It needs to come into play for the move to happen. We have nothing bearish, man. Nothing bearish, right? All right, so let's go to the, let's go here to the 1 hour chart. And on the 1 hour chart, let's see what's going on here, man. Well, first of all, stuff from the 4 that shouldn't be here. That's what's going on here. Let's move that there real quick. But we're gonna be seeing similar things, right? We're gonna be seeing extremely similar things here. All right, let's see. There you go. Cool. So in the shorter move coming in lower, more momentum. But here, we're starting to develop strong bullish divergence, right? Again, larger period that I would love to use for this, right? Considering how many periods we got going on there. But it is what it is, and that's what we have. Strong bullish divergence, right? But that the possibility for that action to the upside. And we are starting to get some of that positive movement, right? We're starting to see some of that shift in trend. Now, the thing is, we already called targets. Right now, we're just getting targets to be hit. And we've been hitting targets. It's just that we're not breaking any, right? We like hit them, we slightly break above them, and then we come back down below them. And guess what? It's going to be the same targets to the downside again. Because basically the same analysis is still holding until we get some kind of strong move coming in. And we're just lacking that. We're lacking the volume and the strength for that move to come in. Right now, it's like not really pumping with strength. So we don't have anything bearish. High, lower high, positive, less positive, high to low. So similar to when we were back here, we still have bullish divergence. Here we got a pop. Here we're trying to, but not with a lot of strength. Ultimately, we're just waiting for this to like take off and for us to like be looking for higher areas of value. Right? Other than that, again, not a lot going on here. Not a lot we could do with ADA until we get a pop happening or a drop happening. We already have targets to the upside and the downside. We've had them for a while now. It's just market really not doing a lot else, right? So we're just like, yeah, going over the same thing over and over. All right, we're down to account. Someone said Sol. We're gonna check it out real quick. Solana, dude, here we go. Dude, on the daily. All right, cool. Solana, I think we looked at. We haven't done in depth, but we've looked at it. I don't remember exactly when we last looked at it, but we know it's in a channel of sorts, and we left this chart up for a particular reason. So let's check it, dude. Why not? All right, daily. Let's fib this, man. Let's see where we're at. Go from the high point to the low point and start to get targets for this. There we go. Boom, boom. All right. We did a retrace to the 382, rejected that zone and starting to come back down. Ultimately, we want to keep on retracing higher. We're just not finding that strength right now. All right. So that's for fibs. As far as fibs go, I'm just going to move them here for us to have something to look at. But we already know where we're at with the fibs, right? Boom, boom. Hitting this here zone. Ultimately failing. The reason I'm moving them off to the side is because I want to zoom in here and have a clearer picture for me to start doing the next portion, which is where I start drawing crazy ass things in the chart. That's the name of this portion of the stream. Dude that draws crazy things in the chart. Yep, that's it. Crazy lines, right? Bearish divergence, right? Boom. All right, look at that. Boom. Bearish divergence strong. Potential function to the downside. Taking a dive. Do you have anything bullish? And hit bullish. If you want to call something, then that's like hidden bullish. Again, a lot of period times being considered more than what we usually want to see, but it is what we have, right? Hidden bullish here. Against MACD, against the RSI. Try to rally, nothing bearish here. And again, taking a smaller drop. Now, this one, I am going to have to zoom out quite a bit more. Reason being is that we know Solana has had previous areas of support and resistance in the past, but really not a lot of things at this level. They're not levels where we could infer at. So as you can tell, there's a spike around here that, if anything, we should consider this spike here, which is with the U-turn, right? The line about there, and then we're gonna check see if they're hold or if they have like some kind of value with what we're looking at right now. They're in those. I kind of like we hit a bounce and did a U-turn here, right? Came up here, hit that resistance, right? Boom, another line there. So we got a couple lines. This one got confirmed twice, a support and then as a resistance. This one just got hit as a support. So we're gonna see if those ones are kind of holding now where we're at with regards to Solana, right? I mean, Kind of, but not really, right? Kind of, but not really. I mean, we dropped past this one, like held the support briefly here, like 3 times. We're just running that channel really fast. I'm not even going to call it a valid support. We're just holding on to it right now, barely below it, but it's not like the spot on hits that we're used to seeing with other charts. So for Solana, it could be that just we don't have a lot of history at this level, right? We don't have a lot of bounces, so we don't have like a lot of accurate information that we could go ahead and call out for it here, right? So I think Solana is probably going to play more of the fibs, right? More of this bounces that we're getting here on the fibs and use them as targets. So I'm going to go from low to high. Just to see where this moves came to, right? Again, I just want to get it as close as I can, right? And we come in here and look after hitting that from the low here, right, to the high. We did get a drop to that 618, bounced to 382, and now we're back down. So this also, right, makes sense as far as running those channels. Ultimately, we just want to keep on climbing back. And what we want to do in the end is basically grab these two, overlap them, right, and see where we're at with regards one to another, right? So we come in here closer. Gonna bring that to where it goes, which should be there. And then this one, I'm also trying to see if I could fix it a little bit, because I know this one's off by a bit. So it should be this one here. There we go. Still the same move holds, right? That 50% being held on the larger move, and it's kind of lining up with that 382. So definitely double resistance there when we're trying to go back up. One of them hitting the bodies, the other one hitting the wicks, right? Look, boom, boom, double. So good stuff here on Solana. And good hits here on Solana. So we do have targets, right? Got to stay above that 618, which is 128. Otherwise, we're going to be aiming for that 786, which is going to be at 108 on a movement up. Ultimately, right where we're at right now, I'm not going to consider that 50%, but we got to get above the 382 here, right? Which is the print target. 236 first at 148, then 159, then 167, right? Those would be the movements on the climb for Solana, right? That's what I would love to see Solana do and get over for the next couple moves, right? So I'm just going to leave that somewhere around there. That makes kind of sense for it to be there. There we go. All right. Awesome, dude. Cool. With that, let's go to the 4-hour chart and see what else we got going on here for Solana. Bullish divergence strong. First thing I see when I pop into the chart, right? Boom. It's like there. On your face. Just waiting for it to load properly. There we go. All right, and with that, look at this move. All right, boom. Look at that, right? Boom. 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 All right. Bullish divergence. Trying to get a pop, right? Now, why we drop? Well, we had some bearish divergence. We're coming up higher here, as you can tell, we're coming down lower. This is all within the same island. There's actually a small break that goes to here, right? That if we want to track, there's a small break here. But we have that bearish divergence strong against the MACD, and then against the RSI, it's going to be on this last little bit, right? So bearish divergence strong, action to downside, right? Boom. Breaking down now. Bullish divergence strong. We're waiting for the pop to happen. We're not getting it. Not getting that pop move from this. Now, gotta wait for it to go through, and you know, same targets that we talked about on the daily, really no difference, right? And then for the 1-hour chart, dude, coming in lower with more negative momentum and just against the RSI, some bullish divergence. That's just gonna be it, dude. Really nothing else going on here for Solana as far as like anything crazy. It's just we're seeing a lot of the same thing that we're seeing on other projects where there's things we could look for as far as divergence, right? But we're not getting those crazy cool moves that want to come with the territory. So the divergence is not playing with strength, right? Any moves are not playing with strength. They're just kind of like bland and trying to get there, but not really amounting to anything. Now, coming in lower, less positive momentum, lower on the RSI. Nothing here that is bearish. So bullish on the 1 hour, bullish on the 4 hour, right? And then on the daily, we're kind of like in the middle of nowhere because we have nothing bearish afterwards. Last thing was having sitting bullish. In all theory, we have bullish in the daily, bullish in the 4 hour, bullish in the 1 hour. Now the market's telling us for Solana that it wants to go bullish. The question is Bitcoin going to allow it, right? Is Bitcoin going to let it happen? That's what it breaks down to, right? We have the technicals for it. It's just the market Is the cryptosphere ready for that? Right? Is the cryptosphere going to allow that? I think it should, but just because I think it should does not mean that's what we're going to get. Right, Andrew said, look at WMT. Walmart. I'm kidding. I know it's not Walmart. I think it's this one. Is it this one, Andrew? World Mobile Token. That's one we're gonna look at. World Mobile Token. Sounds like a gaming thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna play with World Mobile Token. Like World of Tanks or whatever that thing ad you get to see a lot happening on YouTube sometimes. World Morning 6. All right, cool. Oh, I thought it was World Morning. I was like, okay, cool. That's a different project. All right. So, daily, we're not seeing anything. Reason we're not seeing anything here as far as like divergence is because we're consolidating, right? Look, boom, boom, it's a triangle. How do you know? Because when you look at it, it's very easy to tell it's a triangle. All right, look, that's a triangle. Boom. That's it. So we're trading within a triangle, waiting for it to break, right? So we don't have nothing bearish, nothing bullish, because every time we're moving, we're doing more of the same. Low, higher low, right? Here, there's some kind of hidden divergence to that point. But other than that, there's really nothing else happening. And that is to this point here. That was back in the past. And we already got the pop from it. Here, high, lower, high, positive, less positive, high to low. So nothing going on afterwards. Kind of chilling within that triangle structure. So for this, I think we want to look at more of the what the hell happened in the past kind of deal. So I'm just gonna like throw some fibs. I just want to get some idea as to where this is at, dude. If we go from high to low, what are we hitting, right? And I just want to get a ballpark estimate. Balance at the 50% and below the 382 right now. That's in the larger fibs, right? Like the super long fibs for like ever for this project. But ultimately, we want to look at the shorter fibs, which are going to let us know where we're at with regards to the latest move. So from low to high, I'm just going to draw that like that. I just want to see where we're at and why we're bouncing or where we're bouncing. So hit that 786, which was a deep retrace. Got above 236, come back down slightly below 382, ultimately trying to bounce around the 50, and right now rejecting again at 236 and slightly below 380. Okay, so that kind of makes sense for where we're at. Not the coolest or cleanest looking fibs, but it kind of just gives us an idea as to where we could be targeting as far as the move goes, right? That's the move from low to high. Now what happens if we invert that and go from high to low? So I'm just going to flip that over so we can get targets on a bounce. There we go. And now we're going to move this one here. Close enough. There we go. This one look much better, right? From high to low. Look at that. Boom. Getting a bounce, hitting the 786, coming back down, hitting that 382 spot on, bouncing. Trying to pop above the 618, failing, and right now breaking below that 50% retrace. So targets on a moving up or down for the fibs here. We're looking at 382 at 31 cents, 31.9, and 29.5. Right, and moving farther down on a pop, where we get a pop, we get above 33.87, then above 35.79, then 38.53, then 40.01. Ultimately, if we keep on climbing, we're gonna be looking at the 50-cent mark, right? 52 cents, right? But that's it for it here, man. I mean, there's really nothing else in the daily that we could go on for this project. It's just kind of like there's really not a lot of things. I really wish there was more, man. It might make more sense if I change it to ADA. Maybe. All right, let's do that, dude. Let's go to dailies and change it to ADA, I guess. We have gaps now. I don't like it when there's gaps, and the gaps is because the okay. So, all right. Reason I don't like it when we change it to ADA and we start to see gaps is because that means the data it's gapping because there's like an arbitrage that happens or like triangulation, right? So ultimately, ADA trades against the dollar. So having this trade against ADA is having like this trade against ADA then against the dollar. So it having gaps. If ADA ultimately your off ramp most of the time it's gonna turn it back into dollars, right? So by it going WMT to ADA, ADA to dollars, then you're adding an extra step that you can just go from this to dollars to look at the information, right? But when you turn it into ADA and you compare it to ADA, ultimately what's going to matter is whether or not ADA is strengthening against the dollar or not, because that's going to be your off ramp. That's going to be the biggest trading pair for ADA, right? The dollar. So you got to trade this to the dollar would be, I think, what would make more sense. And actually, we can see that there's no gaps and everything's properly filled when we do it this way, right? So let's go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, dude. Again. Ultimately, this, you might offload it to ADA and then change it to dollars, but you're just adding an extra step. Unless you have to go to ADA because there's no other off-ramp. It will still be the same thing, though. Whatever happens here to the dollar is the same thing that's going to happen if you go from here to ADA and then ADA to dollar. You're going to get the same amount of dollars out. So, all right, let's see this. Just going to zoom into this smaller portion and see what's happening. High to low. High to low, out of low. There's really not a lot here as far as bearishness. Lower, more negative. Nothing here as far as bullishness, right? We're just going with the market. High, low, high. But less than this one. The same thing. Low, lower, low, right? Lower, low. Lower, low. Lower, high. Lower, high, lower, high. So again, it's just a consolidation pattern. Not getting a lot. I'm still going to shift it to ADA, man. I just want to finish this one, though. Back to the daily. I want to see that here. Here we do bearishness, right? Here we see bearishness. And here's where it makes a little bit more sense. When we look at this, yeah. Bearish divergence, right? Potential function downside, dropping down a bit. Coming in lower, more negative momentum, lower still. So this drop here is normal. Here's where we start to create some bullish divergence for this, right? Bullish divergence, potential function to the upside. Again, not looking too bad. Now we're going to be looking for some kind of reversal to happen on the price. Hopefully it's going to come with strength and we're going to see this pumping, something like this. Right? Would be a very nice thing to see. But ultimately here, if we want to look at this a little bit more objectively, this created on the 1 hour head and shoulders pattern. Here we have our first shoulder. Head. And the other shoulder. Right? Draw our neckline. Broke it really fast because it's very skewed. Take your measure. So we broke, and you can see that we've almost hit a completion of the pattern, right? So not necessarily bad. This could tell us we can still drop a little bit. Now, don't take this for granted. We can still drop a little bit, so long as we're still making less of this negative momentum, right? We're still going to hold on to that bullish divergence strong. So we could definitely come to pattern completion here, right? That would be beautiful if we see pattern completion with bullish divergence strong, and then we see that reversal popping. Bro, that's going to be nice, right? But we have the bullish divergence for the start tracking upside if we wanted to, right? It has the technicals for it to move up. I'm just saying what I wish for it to happen and for it to look nice does not necessarily mean this is what's going to happen. Again, it's dropped enough to where we can say the pattern has more or less been completed. So it's more or less than 80% filled the bar, right? To some extent. Not fully completed it, but very likely. Right, and again, that comes from the head and shoulders that we're seeing here on WMT, right? Julio. Alrighty. Awesomeness. Cool. And yeah. So you look at the dollar index real quick. just for sakes of seeing where the dollar index is at. 105. I think we're going to be holding support still on the dollar index. It's not loaded yet because I know there's data here. I don't know. There's lines here. There's no lines up here, right? Yo, no problem, Andrew, man. No problem at all. Why is it not loading the data for the daily? Oh, there we go. All right, so we're bouncing. We're bouncing at the neckline for the, inverse head and shoulders. Now, this is part of the throwback, right? We're trying to rally. Now we're coming back down to hit it. Here's the do or die for. So here's how this plays. This is interesting. If we break below this, right, we'll be breaking back down below the neckline. That could put the dollar on a very strong downtrend, right, towards losing more value. Holding on to this and using it as a trampoline for bounce, that's going to put it in a very strong area where we could, in theory, could be coming all the way up here to 108, right? 108, 109, targeting this upper here zone, right? That's where the dollar could be going, given where it's at and what it's developing, right? Reasons that it could go for that move is the fact that it's starting to develop some hidden bullish divergence at a support zone, right? So that comes from here to here. And by going from here, there's negative momentum island, which is one bar, but it's still there, to here, right? We add that potential for that movement up, and that's part of the reason that we're holding that area. Holding on and bouncing from it is going to be a strong move. That could lead Bitcoin to where Bitcoin falls off more, right? Watch out for that. Be mindful of it. All righty. So with all that said, guys, I'm going to call you a stream for tonight. It's super late. Well, not super late for me, but it is late considering the schedule I have. I feel like really, really tired now. I'm going to be calling it a stream for tonight. I enjoy being here with you guys. Thank you very much for asking for all these projects and keeping the conversation going and keeping everything entertained. Andrew, thank you very much for chatting. Daniel, Integrity Painting, and Darkness Star. Thank you guys for awesome support and viewership and likes, bells, and whatever you guys are doing. So again, if you guys enjoyed the content, hit the like, hit the bell. We're going to be calling it a stream for the night. Again, and we'll be here tomorrow for another edition of TSO Crypto. We're here all Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, most of the time, unless something happens or I'm having issues. But other than that, I'm trying to keep to that schedule. We've been keeping to that schedule lately. So thank you very much for guys for watching. And again, I'll catch you again tomorrow for another edition of TSO Crypto. Until then.